So thank you very much, Hirsch. So welcome everybody. My name is Curtis and I am a guide with Trek Travel. Tonight I'm going to tell you about Trek Travel and how you can have an active vacation of a lifetime with us. There's a lot of ground to cover, and that is a pun intended. So let's get started. And I think for those of you who have joined us in the past and seen our PowerPoint presentation, you're going to really enjoy the new PowerPoint we have. I think you can already see from our new starting slide. It's just like Karen's just crushed it, coming up with this amazing graphics. Takes a team to have a cycling vacation of a lifetime, and also to tell you about them, actually just an adventure of a lifetime, and also to tell you about one. And so tonight joining me is my good friend and co-guide Hershey. You're going to see Hershey a little bit later when we get into the trips we're highlighting. Those of you who've joined us on Zoom in the past, you know about Zoom. We've all been using Zoom so much these days, except when they update it. Hersh and I were just talking about how when they update it, they change things and it makes things more difficult. But one thing they haven't changed is the menu bar, where you're going to find your mute button and your video toggle button. So a little bit later, I'll ask you to toggle both of those off. It's also where you're going to find your chat box. This is a great spot where we have a couple quizzes tonight, so we want you to kind of open up your chat box and throw in the correct answer, the letter of the correct answer. When we have those quizzes, it's kind of a fun way to stay engaged and test your knowledge of Trek travel. And also throughout the evening, as we are going along, questions might come up. And, you know, if you're like me, you got to wait till the end and then you forget you had a great question and you forget about it. So the chat box is a great place to just throw some questions in while we're going through the presentation, and then we'll go over them at the end and, you know, answer them for everybody so everyone can hear the answers. You can also do some closed captioning. If you're one of those folks like me who likes to have everything in closed captioning these days, feel free to toggle that on as well. But at this point, could I have everybody please turn off their video and their audio? I'm going to save a little bit of bandwidth. At Trek Travel, we usually begin each day with a route talk, so you have an idea of where you're going and, you know, what you expect to see. And so here is tonight's route talk. We're going to start our journey by answering the question, who is Trek Travel? Then move on to why you should travel with us, what we like to call our secret sauce. And then we'll climb up to the trips we're talking about tonight, Girona and Mallorca ride camps. Then we will quickly, of course, but yet safely, descend to briefly touch on what's next and how to book a trip, and then finish up with some Q&A. So let's begin with, who is Trek Travel? Trek Travel is a company, and actually, I kind of feel like it's more like a family, and I think those of you who traveled with us before kind of maybe feel the same way, that believes taking you on vacations that move you, both literally and figuratively, is what we want. Like, that's what we want to do, is take you on a vacation that moves you in every way that we possibly can. Trek Travel has active vacations all over the world and is always scouting out new locations and new ways to experience the world. And we've been doing it for over 20 years. And over those 20 years, we've been winning awards. We've been voted one of the top vacation companies by our guests and partners over the years by various organizations. Most recently, Travel and Leisure for 2023, and this was number 5, in fact, which is our highest finish ever. That award is a repeat from 2022, 2021, 2018, and 2016. So obviously, we are consistently winning awards, and we are extremely proud of that. And we're going to continue to work hard to deserve more. So what do we do that has us winning all of these awards? As I mentioned before, at Trek Travel, we like to call it our secret sauce. It's what sets us apart from other tour operators. But rather than telling you about it, I wanted to show you a video narrated by our president, Tanya Burke, called Why Trek Travel. They always say, you know, just worth 1,000 words, so a video is worth 1,000,000.
Travel is transformational. It allows you to have a different perspective, get to know a culture, your surroundings, and the landscape around you. But a cycling vacation really is different. You can see things up close and personal. You can smell the flowers. You work up an appetite riding your bike, and so it makes the dinners taste that much better. And for me, it is the absolute best way to see the world. We meticulously plan every single one of our trips, from hand-picked perfect accommodations to the region's best riding and local and cultural experiences that really immerse you in the place that you're traveling. And these are all the elements of an awesome trip. Our guides provide exceptional hospitality. They're really focused on making sure we have a seamless and effortless experience for our guests, and they provide wow moments that you would never expect. If you're avid and want to go do some epic climbing, you can do that. If you want more of a leisurely ride, we have trips for you as well. We also offer e-bikes, and they have been an absolute game changer. People can go further than they ever imagined. So we have different rider levels, different trip styles, price points, and destinations all throughout the world. We go to North America, Europe, South America, Asia, and pretty much anywhere you can dream up, we can take you on a vacation there. The most important thing, and I think everyone at Trek Travel shares this, is taking care of people. And that's why we do what we do. It's ingrained in our training, and it's ingrained in our commitment to providing exceptional hospitality. And our hope is that all of these elements come together and provide an experience of a lifetime.
Man, I love that video. It just makes me want to get out and ride my bike, which I could have done last week, but not this week. We were just talking about with some guests about, or some folks around tonight about obviously how much snow some of us have recently gotten. But speaking of riding, we know that you're here tonight because you love to ride as well. And bikes are one of the many ways that sets Trek Travel apart from other tour operators. The bike that you ride on a cycle vacation matters. And that's why we provide the best bikes in the business and tailor them to the trip that you're on. Honestly, you're probably going to want to buy one of these after you get back if you don't already have one. So we have 4 standard bikes, which are offered. Which one is offered will depend on which region and type you're on. But I should note that there are a few select regions that there are different bikes than what I'm showing you today, but these are our 4 main bikes. First, we have the Checkpoint SLR7. This is on our gravel trips. This is a full carbon fiber electronic shifting disc brake bike. It's absolutely awesome. Then we have the Domani SL7 road bike. This is the bike that you're going to find on most of our trips, not the gravel trips, but almost all the other ones. This is our most commonly used bike. Again, this is a full carbon fiber bike with electronic shifting, disc brakes, and carbon wheels. When it comes to our electric assist bikes, we have the Verve Plus, which is a no-cost option offered on many of our trips where you're finding the SL7. This is kind of like a hybrid bike with a low step through. Makes it easier to get off and on it. And then lastly, we have the Domani Plus SLR7, which is offered on a lot of our gravel trips and some of our select road trips. This is, an electric assist road bike. So it has a 2x12 drivetrain. It's absolutely awesome. I own one of these and absolutely love it. Now keep in mind the e-bikes are electric assist bikes, which means they give your pedaling a little or a lot of boost. There's no throttle. This is a Trek Travel trip after all, so you have to do the pedaling yourself. We highly recommend, like I said, I have the SLR7, absolutely love it. If you haven't ridden an e-bike before, drop into your local Trek dealer and check one out. They are absolutely awesome. So much fun, and can just really change the way you ride in so many ways. I can say when on a windy day or I'm doing some hill climbs with friends who are much faster than me, it helps me get up the hill so they're not waiting for me. And when I ride with friends who are a little bit slower than me, I actually just turn off the bike assist completely, and then it kind of levels out our riding. So I think they're just an absolutely great way for people of different riding levels to ride together and really enjoy the ride. Okay, everyone open up those chat boxes. We have our first trivia question. So again, with these, just put the correct letter of the answer. You don't have to type the whole thing out. So question is, speaking of the Domani Plus, what is our most popular Domani Plus destination? We got A, Tuscany, B, Vermont, C, Glacier, or D, Croatia. So again, just put the correct letter of the answer. Give folks a little time to put some answers in there. I see a lot of people choosing A. Tuscany is a great choice because I mean that is one of our most popular trips. As I mentioned, I absolutely love my Domani Plus SLR7. It's hard to tell it's even an e-bike. It weighs just right around 27 pounds. So it's a slight weight penalty over one of our normal road bikes, but it's really just rides a lot like a normal road bike, but it kind of makes you feel like a pro. See answers still flying in. So looks like things have slowed down. So as a final answer here, the correct answer, and I think A was a great choice because Tuscany is one of our possible events, but the correct answer is C, Croatia. One of Hershey's favorite trips, and a trip I definitely want to go on. I've heard amazing things about that trip. So one of the questions we get about activity levels on our trips, and now that I'll be talking about tonight a couple different trip styles that we have, we kind of have this standard activity level. It's not super complicated. We have, level one's a leisure level 2's recreational, level 3 is active, and level 4 is avid. And as we go through our different trip styles, you're going to see essentially, as you can imagine, and as the names kind of describe them, when you go from level 1 to level 4, you're going to be looking at, a little more riding, maybe a little more climbing, a little maybe steeper terrain with gravel, a little tougher. So just keep in mind these kind of rider levels as I go through the kind of trip styles that we offer. So we have road cycling. Obviously, this is what we started with. Everyone knows about it. This is what we're known for. And so we have road cycling. And again, when it comes to, and it's, I think for those of you who've seen it before, nice little graphic that Terry came up with. We have 4 levels of riding. And as you go up, you're going to get more miles, more elevation, and more time in the saddle. For those of you who are wondering if I'm looking at a level 3 trip and maybe I feel like I'm only a level 2 rider, an e-bike is a great way to kind of level up. So if you're a level 2 rider and you want to do level 3 trip, an e-bike might help you do that. Or if you're a level 2 rider or level 1 rider and you want to do level 2 trip, an e-bike will, get you there. Gravel cycling. This is what we were talking about earlier. It's really taken off. People love gravel cycling because you can get out, you're in nature, you're right there. It's a really great way to get off the beaten path. And so with gravel, again, we have 4 levels from 1 to 4. And the distance you'll notice between gravel and road is that, gravel distances are going to be less. So, level 3 gravel and a level 3 road, you're going to find a level 3 gravel be less because the terrain that you're looking at is a little more, not quite as even. It's not smooth. There's a little more climbing involved. It just takes a little more effort when it comes to gravel and going over those miles. But again, go to our website. You can look at each level. It kind of gives you an estimate of like what kind of terrain you're dealing with, how many miles you're talking about, how much elevation, time in the saddle. These little icons are just kind of meant to give you a visual of what it's like, but definitely go to the website, check it out. It gives you great information about, what each level looks like. And then if you have further questions, and I'll mention it later too, call up our trip consultants and we can get you more details about what each day looks like and, what kind of terrain that's involved to make sure you're getting the right trip for your rider level. And now onto our third trip style. I'm super excited to talk about this. We have a whole new era. We're going to step into trek travel with hiking and walking tours. We currently have 4 destinations of hiking and walking trips, but I know there's going to be more in the future. This is just kind of something we wanted to start off with. We knew that the world was best seen. We always said by the seat of, on 2 wheels. The world's best seen on 2 wheels. But we realized if you're on 2 wheels, you're missing out on a lot of great places. And so I think the world is now best seen also with 2 legs. So with that, this is one of our first destinations, Cinque Terre. If you travel with us for a long time, this is a place that we've been going to with our cycling trips for a very long time. The other 3 destinations are Portugal, Scotland, and Ireland. We'll be running trips in these regions because we already have amazing relationships with folks in those areas. And these trips, just like our gravel and cycling, our road cycling trips, have 4 levels as well. Our hiking and walking tours are packed with everything that makes trek travel great: the best guides, luxury accommodations, expert itineraries, unmatched flexibility, and support from the moment that you book your trip until you depart. They're all delivered in a way that truly sets Trek Travel apart, which is with unparalleled hospitality. So again, check out our website, kind of get more pictures, check out the stuff, see what each level means when it comes to hiking. Again, like our trips, it just gets a little harder as you go up. Unfortunately, there's no E version of the hiking trip, so I don't think you can level up quite the same way unless you really make good friends with one of your guides and they're willing to give you like a piggyback if you're doing a little more, it's a little extra climbing. So let's talk about what's included. Now we have different types of trips. So as you can imagine, you're not getting a bike on your hiking trip. But when it comes to all of our trips, what's included is generally more. You're getting, hotels, guides, daily breakfast, most lunches, most dinners, daily snacks and drinks, gratuities for the local staff. So when you're eating at a restaurant or doing an excursion, you don't have to worry about pulling out your wallet, and that all those are covered already by Trek Travel. And if you're doing a trip where you are transferring from one hotel to the next, obviously luggage transfers and transportation are all covered, as well as, depending on the trip, some Trek Travel gear to keep. Everyone loves swag and we like handing it out. When it comes to cycling vacations, obviously the world-class bikes that we talked about that are all equipped with Garmin GPSs, you get a helmet, a flat pack, support van, and 1 to 3 routes each one of the days. For hiking and walking trips, providing a backpack, hiking poles, and a water bottle. I mean, I always recommend, kind of like when it comes to cycling, I mean, if you have your own backpack that you really like, bring that along. I have a backpack that I absolutely love and want to use it all the time, or you have anything particular about your hiking poles. But if you don't have those items, the nice thing is we provide them. So what's not included? Obviously, you can see this is a much shorter list. Obviously, airfare to and from the trip. And we always recommend that you go out a day or two early. These are great destinations. But these days, with a lot of the travel hiccups people are experiencing, you just want to make sure you get out there and you don't miss the first day of the trip. Especially if you're on a trip sometimes where you're getting transported from one place to the next, that can make it complicated. So it's always a good idea to try to get out a day or two early, kind of get settled in, and then let your trip get started. Of course, then if you're there, lodging before and after the trip, any personal items like souvenirs, any optional activities are not scheduled by Trek Travel. Our trips have a lot of activities that keep you very busy, but we also want to give you some time to do your own thing. To check, and sometimes your own thing might just be, laying in your room or laying by the pool and just enjoying the beautiful scenery. But if you want to get out and do other things, there are some optional activities that you'll be able to do. Those are not covered, as is some meals. Obviously, we have a bunch of great meals for you and really cool experiences and awesome places, but we want you to get out and kind of make some of your own choices and do some things that you just want to do when it comes to meals. And also not included are gratuity for Trek Travel guides. So I want to thank you for your appreciation when it comes to that. All right. So with that, let's open up our chat boxes again and get ready for our second trivia question. This is a new type of style of quiz, which I really like. It's kind of, the question is, where is the location of this picture? Which is something we haven't done before. I loved it. I'll be honest, I got it wrong when I did it myself. The options are A, Byron Bay, B, Portugal, C, Solvang, or D, Asheville. If you're having trouble finding the perfect trip, you can just hop onto our website and click on Find a Trip. It'll dish out recommendations based on your preferences. And in case you're wondering, we have trips in all of these locations. So if any of you have traveled some of them, you might be able to, you might know right away which one it is, or maybe you'll know it's not that spot. So with that, it looks like the answers, I think that's to say a final answer, everybody. Okay, the final answer is, well, I guess the answer is, your final answers are in. The correct answer is A, Byron Bay, which I got that wrong too. I put Portugal. Byron Bay, we've started going to, this is actually Cape Byron, or the Cape Byron Lighthouse you're going to see in Australia. And so we've started getting trips down there and they look absolutely incredible. All right. Now we've climbed up to the point that you've all been waiting for, where we highlight some of our trips. And tonight, I'm so excited that we're going to talk about our two European ride camps, Girona and Mallorca. To do that, I'm going to hand it over to my good buddy, Hershey, who can tell you all about these. Hershey, take it away.
Curtis, thank you. Thank you so much for having me here tonight. It's always great to be here with you and share these awesome locations with everybody. So, tonight we start in a place that I would say is a cyclist's dream. If you've ever wanted to spend time in a historical town that has amazing food, fantastic coffee, where you see pros everywhere, well, then I would like to welcome you to Trek Travel's European headquarters. That's right, this is Girona and our 7 day cycling ride camp. Just so you know, we also offer a 4 day ride camp if you are looking for something off the beaten path. We have a Girona gravel camp. And then if you are looking for a little bit more luxe, well, we also have a fantastic Costa Brava trip, which also features sailing on the Mediterranean Sea. You can't go wrong. Now, the variation of riding in Girona varies from mountainous climbing to rolling hills to flat lands going through pasture fields to weaving and winding your way along the rugged Costa Brava. Whatever you desire, you will have it on this trip. The pavement, I would say, is pristine, if I can use the P word to alliterate. And then on top of that, just the whole entire cycling culture surrounding Girona is incredible. Now, one of the climbs that we do is
Good. I
the
think she
leg.
does.
Hi, guys. If you don't mind just muting while we're doing a presentation, that'd be great. Thank you. So one of our first climbs is Sant Martí. It's a Girona favorite. We do this. Some say it's a 20-minute power climb. I'll say this, however long it takes you to get up to the top is totally fine. If it's 40 minutes, it's 40 minutes, but it's 5 miles. You average 5% gradient, and it's definitely a great leg and lung opener. And this is how we begin our trip. Another day, this is on the third day of the trip, we go to a new favorite, and this happens out on the Avid ride. You pass Lake Banyoles, and then you begin climbing the historic Roca Corba. It's a secret training climb by pros in the area. They come out here to test their fitness. You'll see some actually doing hill repeats. This climb is about twice as long as the previous one I just talked about. This climb is 14K. It averages 6.5%. So it's more than just a leg opener and lung opener. It's a leg burner and a lung burner for sure. But this is a shot of that climb. Now it's back to the bike on another day of this trip. You know, the ride camps, the beauty is it's eat, sleep, ride, repeat. On this day, our route heads over the Massif Guilleries, or the range, and it separates both Girona and Barcelona. So you'll be heading south out of Girona. There's tons of climbing on tap. Believe it or not, you're going to have 10,000 feet of climbing this day and 95 miles. Now, for some of you, that's probably in your wheelhouse. Right now, I'm hearing that and going, that's a pretty big day this early in the season. But I'll say this, it is one amazing day on the bike. And this climb is also part of the KOM, King of the Mountain, catalog of Girona. This probably for me is my favorite day of the trip. And this is the day that we do the Costa Brava loop. Here we head to the coast. Yeah, we say goodbye to Girona, weave our way through the old quarter and make our way out to Costa Brava. We go over the mountain,
Oh,
down through
you're
the
looking
field.
very jacked today. I think it's the shirt.
All right.
I got it,
Thank you.
Hirsch. I got it.
Thanks, Curtis. I appreciate that. Sorry, everybody. So we weave our way out. We get to the town of Taça de Mar, which is actually, you can see this right here. It's an old fortified city. There's actually a fortress down there on the point. Have a drink, grab a snack, and then what happens is we begin to weave our way back along the coast to Girona. And I'll say, as you weave and wind on this stretch of road from Taça de Mar to Sagaro, the pavement it's perfect. The views are great. I've definitely seen pros out riding here. We used to have some that would come through the group and wave and say hi. This day is 80 miles long, and when you get to see the sea, it is absolutely, absolutely worth it. Now, our accommodations on this trip, Curtis talked to you a lot about the different bikes we offer. He talked to you about some of the different types of trips that we have and the ratings. But I'm going to say one thing I love about our ride camps is that you can have suitcase explosion. And the reason is it's one hotel for the entire stay of the trip. In Girona, it's Hotel Nord 1901. It's located in the historic part of the town. The location is great. They have a spa so you can get tons of treatments, fantastic shopping, have a sports recovery massage, go out and have a gelato, a coffee, you name it. Everything is in walking distance of our hotel, and the rooms are fantastic. So, if you're looking for one hotel, this is definitely your place. Now, the food in Girona, Girona is a foodie's paradise. They have tons of Michelin stars. The food quality is great. It's fresh and local. You're going to be treated to delicious Spanish cuisine. And what I want you to think of are local meats, fresh baked breads, vegetables grown within a few kilometers of the city center, fresh cheeses from the region, olive oils from Spain, uh, food markets where you can go and do some shopping and make your own picnic in the evening. Many of the meals, we will go with our group and we'll take you to hand-picked restaurants that are fantastic. Some of the nights are going to be on your own, and we give you recommendations. So whatever your fancy is, don't worry, you will find some great stuff. Now, to summarize, if you love to ride your bike, if you are thinking you want to spend time in a cultural area that is vibrant with life and people and just such a cycling culture feel to it, world-class food, well, there's no better place, in my opinion, to cycle than Girona. I love riding there. And if you've ridden there, you'll understand why. And if you hear people talking about it, just go, because when you get back, you'll go, I get it. I know why they're so jazzed. Now, our second favorite ride camp tonight, well, this is another one that I think is amazing. I'd like to welcome you to our Mallorca 7-day ride camp. We say goodbye to the mainland of Spain and we head out to the Balearic Islands. And the one we are featuring tonight is Mallorca. We also offer a luxury Mallorca trip here as well that stays in 2 different hotels. But tonight, our focus is going to be the pilgrimage of the cyclist dream, and that is Mallorca. Both with Girona, Mallorca, and all of our ride camps, both in the United States and in Europe. They're based around our level 3 active riders and our level 4 avid riders. The days in the saddle are long. The climbing is fantastic. The descending is amazing. The roads weave, they wind. This is not a bike path you are looking at. This is actually a road for cars that go in both directions. Just know this, on Mallorca, there are more cyclists than there are cars. The locals are very aware about them. And in one night, when I was out just doing a ride after the guests got in, I passed over 500 cyclists in an hour and a half, going in every which way direction. So Mallorca is amazing, and it is a cyclist dream. And you'll begin the first day when we head west to the cool village of the Orient. This charming village is known for its beauty, its cool traditional architecture, and it's a popular destination for hikers and nature enthusiasts alike. And due to its proximity to various hiking trails, and the landscape is absolutely amazing. You're not on the coast at this point, you're actually inland in the heart of the Tramontana Mountains, and the ride's amazing. So that's day one. It's a nice, smooth 57 miles and just over 3,000 feet of climbing. Now, probably the one climb that gets people calling back for more, and that is the climb of Sacalobra. This was designed by a Mallorquin man. His mom was Mallorquin, his father was Italian, and he took,
Got it, Hirsch.
thanks, man.
Yeah. I'm here for
Awesome. I appreciate it, you guys.
it.
So this ride is awesome because basically this gentleman who designed this road, he said, I wanted to create a road that took the natural beauty all together. And what you have is this weaving, winding road. These are just a few of the switchbacks, but there's actually a 360-degree switchback that you ride through, and then you descend all the way down to the base of Sacalobra. It's right at the sea. Get a quick espresso, maybe a little bit of fuel, and then begin the journey back up Sacalobra. This road was designed for a cyclist in mind. Now, another day is when we head up the Puig Mayor. When we tackle this ride, it's 69 miles, 8,000 feet of climbing. The Puig Mayor is the only road on the island that was built by the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. It was designed by our military during World War II because they wanted to get Humvees from the sea up to the lookout point and the radar tower, and then back down to the coast if they needed to. So we get to ride this road. It is a beautiful climb. It doesn't really weave and switch back. It's more just flowing and open turns, and the gradient really never gets above 5% on the climb. Now, the last spectacular road that we get to ride on this Mallorca ride camp is when we head out to Cap Formentor. This road was also built by that local engineer, and how he designed Sacalobra, he did the same way, except weaving and winding down. He basically follows all the way out to the northeasternmost point of the island. And there, the lighthouse awaits us. Get out to the lighthouse, have a coffee, enjoy the views. You might be able to see Menorca, one of the other Balearic Islands, and then we make our way back to the hotel. The road quality out there to the lighthouse and back it's just pretty awesome, and it's such a great view. Similar to Girona and all of our other ride camps, they're part of our One Collection series, and what that means is one hotel for the entire stay. Here, if you are looking to get away, to not be in the city, to have the quiet life, well then you will enjoy the rural Monobar Nuo Eco Hotel and Spa. It's immersed in the countryside. They have an amazing organic farm on the property. They produce fresh produce, and they also have a spa on site. So if you're looking for quiet, if you're looking for in the middle of nowhere to read, relax, if you are looking for fantastic food and a great spa, this hotel, we think, is a perfect place for our ride camps. Now, the restaurant, as I mentioned before, the chef prepares all the meals and ingredients sourced from the estate's organic vegetable farm, and then all the meats, of course, are local as well. Now, if this picture here and the different rides didn't get you excited, sometimes they say that a picture is worth 1,000 words. Well, I'm going to say this. I think you're going to enjoy this video that our colleague Diego narrates to talk a little bit and show you a little bit about why Mallorca is just so amazing. I hope you enjoy.
Hello Truck Travel friends, my name is Diego and I say hello from beautiful Mallorca. This place has amazing roads. The coastal road of the Light of Formentor or Sacalobra are two classics for Mallorca. You have to see them. I know that you're eager to go back to the road and get your legs back into shape as well as we do. So from my colleagues and I, we send you a big hello, and hopefully we can see you here in Mallorca to cycle some awesome roads.
Well, I hope you guys enjoyed that amazing video from Diego, and just showing so much goodness. So I think the only question you have is, regardless of where you want to go travel with us and what you where you want to ride, would you like to stay in the middle of a city? Would you like to be in the countryside? You can't go wrong. But if island living is calling your name, then I'll say this: it's definitely Mallorca. Or if you want to be in the city, You cannot go wrong with Girona because you're going to get out by the water, and both places are very easy to get to. And with that, Curtis, I am going to hand it back over to you.
Thanks, Hirsch. Man, I don't know. We always talk about this, but why do you have to pick one or the other? I mean, if you're going all the way over to Europe already, I mean, I would think just do both. And I think George would probably agree with us. I mean, if you're going over there, let's hit Mallorca, then hit Girona. And I will say that video, I love that video. Two things about it. One, I tried to wear the same shirt as Diego. I don't have this cool accent, but this way I felt like a little more involved. And two, that penny farthing at the beginning, I love it. I did a ride in Colorado once, century ride, and there was a guy I saw at about mile 5. I passed him. He was on a penny farthing, and I was like, that is super impressive. First, getting on the bike, and then obviously being willing to kind of, I'm not sure he made the whole century, but just getting on the bike was impressive to me. So with that, sure everyone's wondering, now that we've got you excited about a vacation of a lifetime, you probably want to know what's next. Well, watch out for an email from our team with lots of great info to recap tonight's presentation, including a link to the video. Then you can visit our website for more information about these trips or other trips, including dates and prices, trip logistics. There's just all sorts of helpful information. And you can search by region, date, trip style, rider level, just so many ways. And while you're there, you can find out about our industry-leading cancellation policy and our travel insurance provider. And then once you've decided on a trip, give us a call to book your trip Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. Or if you're one of those late night shoppers, feel free to book from the convenience of your desk. You can just shop, in the middle of the night and book many of our trips online, which is makes it very convenient. Once you've booked the trip, don't forget to get ready for it. This isn't kind of your normal trip where you just kind of like hop on a plane and get there. You have more fun on Trek travel trips when you prepare for that trip. In fact, the getting ready is kind of part of the fun of it, especially when it comes to whether it's a hiking trip or a gravel trip or a road cycling trip. I mean, getting in those miles ahead of time, making the friends, doing all this stuff ahead of time is a great way to kind of get ready for it, build those relationships, and then you're out, and then the trip is that much more enjoyable. So after you book your trip, go visit your local Trek dealer if you're doing a biking trip. Check out the gear you might need. If you go through the packing list and you find you don't have some arm warmers or some sun sleeves or whatever, see what more gear you might have to get fitted for the bikes. If you don't have any of these bikes, we always ask for your measurements. So when you show up, the bikes are kind of dialed in to close to your measurements. We can kind of tweak them, but hop on a bike and get the measurements, because when you measure your own bike, if it's not the same bike, it might not quite be quite as close. And so it's always useful to hop on those bikes. Check out an e-bike. Like I said, if you haven't ridden one before, you should definitely check one out to feel what it's like. If you're considering or travel partners considering using an e-bike like the Verve, just kind of get a feel for it, what it feels like. Or if you're wondering, if I'm going to one of these gravel trips or I'm going to Croatia, why is everyone getting the Domani Plus? I mean, is it because there's a lot of climbing? Hop on the Domani Plus and take it for a spin. I think what you do, you might want to use it as an option, because it really just makes you feel like a pro. You feel like a rock star. I mean, that bike can pedal assist you. Again, it's pedal assist, so you still have to pedal. It doesn't just take you up there, but it pedal assists in the U.S., so not Croatia, up to 28 miles an hour. I know in Europe the speed limit on that is a little bit lower. I want to say maybe it's closer to 20. But in any case, head to your local Trek dealer, get fitted, check out the bikes, check out an e-bike, grab some more gear, and ask about training if they have any local rides. There's often group rides at your local Trek bike shop or any bike shop. So do some group rides and get ready for your trip. I know we're talking about the website. I know we talked about some new trip styles, but we also have a brand new website. And so we wanted to share that with you. If you haven't visited our website recently, you got to go and check it out. They just did an amazing job. It's just super cool. So we have new trip pages with more videos, key information, travel dates. I love this feature where it kind of shows you the map and all the different directions you go on the different rides. Obviously, dates and prices, a lot of information's there like it was before, but kind of giving you a visual of where you're going. I love it. And obviously those videos just make you want to get out and ride. As I mentioned before, travel logistics, here's where you're going to see where to go and before and after, what to pack, just loads and loads of information. on that. Or if you're just wondering about trips too, it's a great place to go and say, okay, where am I going to go into? If that makes a difference to you, what do I need to pack? And just look at the information to see if you're trying to distinguish between one trip or another. And then, of course, you can now log in, save information about different stuff. And so we also say, this is a brand new website, and they spent a lot of time getting it ready and checking it out. But if anyone who's ever been on a travel trip knows, travel is all about constant improvement. So it's always like, what can we do better? And so, well, we've done our best to make this thing awesome. If you notice any little tweaks that we missed or any improvements that you can recommend, feel free to reach out to us and let us know. We'd love to hear from you and see how we can, make our website even better. And of course, this is also where you can go and find out about future events. So under our resources tab, you're going to find our events page. So you can find out about upcoming events. We host events throughout the year. Almost all of our events are hosted on Wednesday nights. That's not always the case. Sometimes there'll be a special occasion or something where it'll be on a night other than Wednesday, but we've really tried to make Wednesday nights be our night. We typically have 2 presentations, an earlier one and a later one, so it can fit your schedule. And so really should be able to find stuff, and then you can hear about other trips and ask more questions. So if there's some questions tonight that maybe we don't get to, or you think about tomorrow or the next day, and you want to ask somebody, and you're like, I don't want to necessarily call a trip consultant. Well, hop on our next event, and then at the end we'll have a Q&A session so you can ask your question then. So with that, we are at the last leg of our journey. Hopefully sort up some additional questions. I saw some in the chat box here, so we'll answer those. But feel free to turn on your video and mic. You can either throw questions in the chat box, or you can just ask them out loud. And I just really want to thank you for joining us tonight. We cannot wait to see you out there, riding or hiking with us at some point in time. So with that, let me stop our share and say, I know I did see one question that came up earlier, which was, do they have, when it comes to the days, do you alternate days with flatter days so you can recover? So like if you have a really tough day climbing, is the next day a little bit easier? Hirsch, you've been guiding forever. You've seen a lot of the trips, and obviously there's no standard answer, but yeah, but why don't you hit that one?
No, definitely. And like George definitely answered. He said it goes easy, hard, hard, easy, hard, hard, easy. But I will say, like, we try not to do back-to-back big climbing days.
Yeah.
So you want to do like Formentor followed by Sacalobra, and Mallorca, for example. We'll do something with a little bit less climbing, still long. And then I guess definition of hard would just be how much training you've done before that.
Yeah.
Early season, it's definitely hard. Later in the season, it's probably enjoyable.
Yeah. But George is absolutely right, like you said, about the kind of the layout for our ride camps. Because of the 7-day ride camps, and we have a 4 or 7, that's always kind of like the first stage, you're kind of getting tuned day, then you have 2 long days of riding, and then next day, the 4th day is a transition day, so it's kind of on your own. And honestly, as you know, Hirsch, those days are kind of on your own days. Like we have a suggested route. We say go do 30 miles if you did 70 the day before, but man, if you want to go do 70 again or 100, you're welcome to ride as much as you want. I mean, ride camps are all about riding, right? What would you say the motto was?
Eat, sleep, ride, repeat.
There you go, right? So yeah, if you want, and I know George, I've been on trips with George. George is probably hard, 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 hard. And maybe the last day he might go easy. So, and again, that's a ride camp. When it comes to our other trips, I mean, obviously the trips are designed in a way to make it enjoyable for you. So yeah, as Hirsch said, you're not going to try to, if you're doing something other than a ride camp, you're not going to try to have a bunch of hard days in a row. There were any other questions that you saw? Okay, I see. Oh, here we go. Hirsch, Lisa asked, the gravel camps in late October, November, wondering what to expect weather-wise. Yeah, let everyone know.
Yeah, so weather-wise, Curtis, as you know, we typically try to only run our trips during good times of the year. Yeah, like we don't want to do Ireland in the rainy season. We'll do Ireland when it's not as rainy. And I'll say the fall with our gravel camps in Girona, October, November are great times. It's definitely going to get cooler as we get into November. However, it's not typically it's not snowing. in November. So we only do our trips during the best time. With that, I would definitely recommend bringing layers on all of our trips. You definitely want to bring rain gear because if you
Yep.
don't have it with you, it will rain. And if you have it, well, you probably won't need it. So,
You know, the one thing too, I was looking, oh, here you go. Another great thing about our website, and I just, as I was starting to peruse it, it has the weather. So you can literally look, and they put this on all the trips. So right above the facts, right below kind of the before and after, it has the weather. So you can look at, you know, the average high and low and amount of rain every month of the year. And it includes every month. So some months that we might not even be running. So that's a really nice addition, I think, to our website, so people can know, like, well, what's the average high and what's the average low, and what's good weather to you depends on who you are, right? I know when I go down to
yeah.
Texas, I mean, I want it like I want to start in the 40s and end in the 70s. I don't want to start in the 70s and end in the 90s. So it all depends on what you're used to. But yeah, check out the website for, you know, and it says, for example, I'm looking at Mallorca right now. October average high 76, and October and November it's 67. And little more chance of rain in November than you have in October. But
Yeah.
as I said, the best way to make sure you will not get rained on is to bring your rain gear. Okay. Anyone have any other questions? Let's see, we have anything else here? Do hotels? Oh, here we go. Oh, do hotels have washers to clean your kit each night? First, you want to grab that one?
Yeah. So some of the hotels that we stay in offer washers and dryers for the guests. Some don't. Like in Girona, I don't remember if Nord does, but there are plate laundromats nearby that you can get to in the end of the day, or where you can get to on that middle day. I believe it's day 4. It's right in the morning. It's definitely a much easier spin of the legs day, keep the legs moving, and then you'll have time to explore Girona and do some laundry.
And that's kind of true for any of our trips, right? So if you're, I mean, if you're looking at Girona or Mallorca, that's one thing. But you know, any of our trips, if you're wondering about when you're packing, how many kits should I bring? You can always ask the trip consultant, hey, you know, and again, if you're moving from hotel to hotel, that might change. But say, hey, you know, am I going to have a washer, access to a washer and dryer at some point in this trip? And they'll be able to answer that question for you, because these are all things that we know, because that's where we've been going, and you know, that's something
Yeah,
that people like to know about. I mean, not everyone likes to wear the same kit for several days in a row.
I never do.
Yeah, or if you do, you don't have very many friends, I suppose.
That's
Um, so Mark asked, what is a flat pack?
yeah. Go for it, Curtis.
Yeah, you know, flat pack has a tube, tire irons. Oftentimes we'll provide CO2. We try to do that now more so, and a pump. So it basically it's a way to fix your flat tire. When it comes to ride camps, we're kind of, you know, generally expecting our riders to be a little more self-sufficient, and so kind of fixing their own flats. But other trips, obviously, if we're there, we're going to fix it for you. I can tell you, whether I'm on a ride camp or a luxury trip, if I roll up to you and you have a flat, I'm actually just going to throw you my wheel if we're on the same bike and let you get going right away, and then I'll fix yours and, you know, fix the flat and catch up to you later. So basically a way to fix your flat. There are times where, you know, maybe the van's up ahead of you, and you're ahead of the riding guide, and so, you know, you don't want to, if you want to sit around and wait for the guide to show up, I'm sure he or she will fix it for you. But if you want to keep going and you're comfortable fixing a flat, you'll be able to fix your flat and keep going. And so the other thing too is, I mean, our vans, typically we carry a spare set of wheels too. So if if you got a flat and you see the van behind you, you put your hand out, they'll stop for you, and, you know, probably throw the wheel on and grab yours and then fix it at the next rest stop or lunch stop.
Yeah. Yeah. And Curtis, I would just say
Yeah.
that flat pack, it's like the old school saddlebag, except
Yep.
now it's in the
Yep.
frame, which it's pretty awesome.
Yeah. Another cool thing about those frames, right, is like the ability to put that stuff inside of it, so it's not kind of fun around. Though I will say, Hirsch, and maybe you had this experience too, I always liked going through my flat pack, because you never know if the guest before you left something interesting for you.
Yeah, this is true.
Do we have any other questions? Let's see. There's 7-day ride camp in a couple of weeks. We're looking forward to it. Had enough Zwift. Hal, I agree with you. You know what? And if you, Hirsch talking about Ruby, he and I have started to love Ruby, and I can tell you, there's definitely some Mallorca routes on Ruby, and I assume there are Girona routes as well. So if you want to kind of get a sense of that kind of stuff, Ruby, I know does like a 2 week. I mean, this is not paid; we're not part of us at all, but I know you get 2 weeks free, and check out some like real life routes. If you're kind of wanting to wonder, like, oh, I wonder what it's like on this route in Mallorca. I know they have that famous climb you talked about. Or I'm going to Girona and I want to see some of the routes. I bet you might be able to find one. I know Hirsch mentioned you've seen some Trek travel vans on
I
some of
have,
the rides.
yeah.
Um,
Hey, Curtis,
yeah,
you know, one question I know people often ask when they're coming on trip with us is, do they need to bring their pedals? Do they need to bring their
yeah,
saddle? Do they need to bring their helmet? Um,
yeah.
what, what do you
We
think?
offer all those things. When it comes to pedals, we have Shimano road and mountain pedals, flats, and we even have cages. If you want to ride with some cages, we can offer that to you. But if you're riding anything other than Shimano road, or mountain, so you have your Garmin with with your power meters or speed play or anything else, bring your own pedals because we're not going to be able to accommodate that, and we're more than happy to take them off and on for you. When it comes to your helmet, we offer these amazing helmets, but your your head's used and you can check it out in the store. I mean, go to your Trek dealer and check out the wave cells and see how comfortable they are. But if you have the room, I always bring my own helmet because that's the one I'm used to and the one I like. But most importantly, when it comes to saddle, if you are riding, and I think most of them come with the verse short. Um, if you ride a verse short at home, then great. But if you don't, your bottom is used to your saddle, whatever that is. So I always recommend that people bring their own saddle because if you're gonna have whether it's a ride camp, a week of riding, you want to be comfortable. You're gonna put a lot of miles in that week. So definitely bring your own saddle. Drop it off for the guides ahead of time, and they're more than happy to load it on your bike and then take it off at the end and get it back to you. So yeah, you have any thoughts on that?
No, I think that's great. And another question, follow up with that, Curtis, was with Garmin's, if you have your own Garmin or device, or if you have power pedals, definitely bring all that with you.
Yeah.
We do have Garmin's for you, but sometimes just having your own technology, it's connected to your phone, just easier to use. So if you do bring your own Garmin or Wahoo, we can upload the routes or help you upload those routes.
Absolutely. That's a great point too. With ride camps, you find a lot more people, and I've had plenty of guests show up and with our Garmin's like try to connect their pedals and all the other things. And we can do it, but it's a computer. So it's always better just to, usually bring your own. It's probably a lot easier to add the routes to your Garmin than to add all of your sensors to ours. So that's another really, really good point.
Yeah.
Any other question? I don't see anything else there. So anyone else have any other questions? Hirsch, one question I often hear is, hey, do we all have to ride together? Do we all have to go the same speed? What do you
And the answer is no. Like, we truly mean it's your day, you decide. Sometimes you'll find people that ride at your pace. Sometimes there's people you want to ride with, and sometimes there's people you just want to have, space and do your own thing. So whatever you want to do at your pace, it's your day, you decide, and that's it.
And that's true for whether it's a ride camp or, a level 2 trip. I mean, it's all the same, your day, your way. And another thing too is if you're riding and you're like, hey, and you need to do an e-bike, you're just like, I'm done for the day, right? I don't want to ride anymore. All you gotta do is put your arm out, or if you're at a rest stop, and you can hop in the van anytime you want. So your day, your way doesn't mean just riding your own speed. It means riding as much as you want. As we usually have 3 different routes, today's route, a short route, an avid route. But if you find that you thought you were gonna do the avid and at some point you're like, I'm out, if the van's around, or if you're thinking that you might be around, kind of maybe plan that ahead of time and say, hey, I don't know if I'm going to make it the rest of the way. Look out for me, when I'm wherever, and put your arm out, and the van will stop in the next safe location, and then you can ride the rest of the way home. Well, with that, anything else? Any parting thoughts? Another message popped up. What do we got? Oh, thanks, Thomas. Appreciate that.
Thank you.
Anyone have any last questions? If not, I'm gonna hand it to Hirsch to see, do you have any parting thoughts?
Uh, you know, only thing is if you are looking to get some miles in your legs, I think the ride camps
Yeah.
are amazing for that, just hands down. So I did one last year and it really helped to kick off my season.
Yeah.
The whole thing about just riding your bike, being in a beautiful area, being with other people on the road, chatting about the ride at night, the camaraderie of a trip, and then Mallorca or Girona, you can't go wrong.
Yeah.
So, yeah, stoked that you all are here thinking about joining us on a ride camp.
I agree with you. I love ride camps, you know, and it's a great place. I mean, I've been on some ride camps. Friendships are made, you know, and
Yeah.
those are people you go to other ride camps with. So I think that's a really great thing about ride camps. So I totally agree. Love them. Great way to start your season or extend your season. So
Yeah.
with that, I'll give everyone 2 minutes back for their evening. So thank you all so much for joining us this evening. Really loved having you. Hopefully we'll see you on another presentation or even better, a trip, either hiking or riding now, which is amazing. So thanks everybody. And hey, check out that website. It's awesome. Definitely gotta
Yeah.
check it out.
Thank you all. Have a great evening.
Hey,
And
thanks,
hope to
Hershey.
see
Have a
you
good
on the
evening.
road soon.
Bye, everybody.